in the grand halls of China's most powerful dynasty, a single woman's beauty ignited passion, reshaped politics, and nearly destroyed an empire. She was called Yang Guifei, a name whispered in poems, etched in history, remembered as both the most desired woman of the Tang Dynasty and the tragic spark behind its fall. How did the emperor's forbidden love for his own daughter-in-law plunge a golden age into chaos? From unimaginable luxury to betrayal, rebellion, and a death that shocked the world. This is the untold story of power, beauty, and destruction. The rise and fall of Yang Guifei, the woman who brought down an empire. You probably know the Tang Dynasty as an era of poetry, art, and prosperity. But behind the golden walls and glistening palaces stood a woman whose beauty didn't just capture hearts. It altered the destiny of China itself. Her name was Yang Guifei, later known as Yang Guifei, the most desirable, most controversial, and most tragic consort in Chinese history. Born in the year 719, Yang Guifei came from a respected, though not particularly influential family. Her father worked as a census official, but passed away when she was still a child. From then on, Yang was raised by her uncle, growing up as the youngest of 4 sisters. Even as a child, her beauty was the kind that made people stop and stare. Modern historians often describe her with 2 words: gorgeous and intelligent, traits that would define her legacy. At the age of 17, she married Prince Li Mao, son of Emperor Xuanzong of Tang. The wedding was royal, the setting perfect. She had officially entered the imperial palace, but what seemed like a fairy tale was only the beginning of a scandal that would shake the empire. Imagine being Prince Li Mao, watching as your young wife was praised, admired, and eventually caught the eye of your own father. That's exactly what happened. At a palace banquet, the grieving Emperor Xuanzong, still mourning his favorite consort, saw Yang. He was 53, she was 19. Despite his countless concubines, the emperor was immediately enchanted by Yang. To avoid scandal, he devised a clever yet controversial plan. Yang was sent to a Taoist monastery within the palace, given the title of Taoist nun. For 7 long years, she lived in quiet seclusion. In the year 745, she returned to court, no longer as a princess, but as Guifei, the highest-ranking imperial consort. Her sudden elevation shocked the palace. Emperor Xuanzong, deeply infatuated, even arranged a new marriage for Prince Li Mao to smooth the scandal. But who could blame the emperor? Yang Guifei was more than beautiful. She was legendary. She's remembered as one of the 4 great beauties of China. Ancient poets wrote that her beauty shamed blooming flowers. She had flawless porcelain skin, naturally rosy cheeks, and long flowing black hair. Her figure, tall and curvaceous, matched the ideal of Tang Dynasty beauty. When she walked, it was as if a goddess had graced the palace gardens. Yet, she wasn't just a pretty face. Yang was cultured, talented, and graceful. Her dancing was mesmerizing, her singing, sweet and enchanting. She mastered the pipa, a beloved traditional instrument. When she and the emperor played music together, courtiers described the air as magic. The emperor even composed songs just for her, including the famous Rainbow Skirt and Feathered Dress, performed by the imperial orchestra as Yang danced. Their love was legendary. They were the ultimate power couple of their time. But with great love came great controversy. Her influence soon transformed her entire family. Almost overnight, the Yang clan rose to unprecedented power. Her 3 elder sisters were granted noble titles and luxurious lives. Her cousin Yang Guizhong became prime minister. Imagine one woman's charm, turning her family into shadow rulers. They were everywhere, at ceremonies, in council, behind closed doors. The Yang family became the unseen force behind the throne. But beneath the golden surface, tension grew. Officials and military leaders whispered, "Is this still the Tang Dynasty? Or has it become the empire of the Yang clan?" While the court flourished in art and poetry, political balance collapsed. Yang Guifei's personal life reflected this. She had 700 weavers working solely on her clothing. She loved fresh lychees so much that Emperor Xuanzong ordered fast horses to deliver them from southern provinces just to satisfy her cravings. Even the emperor's most trusted eunuch was tasked with holding her horse's reins to keep her gowns from dragging. Her beauty had become an empire's obsession, and with obsession came resentment. How can one family be this powerful? All because of beauty, people asked. Officials grew bitter, rivalries deepened. Some historians argue that this concentration of power planted the seeds of downfall. And that downfall came in 755. General An Lushan, once favored by the emperor and even treated like an adopted son by Yang Guifei, it was a betrayal no one saw coming. Just years earlier, he had been honored, celebrated, promoted, but perhaps watching the Yang family dominate court life pushed him to the edge. His response? A full-scale rebellion. One by one, provinces fell. The Tang Dynasty, once in its golden age, began to collapse. Even Chang'an, the imperial capital, was on the brink. The emperor, now aged and overwhelmed, struggled. He leaned heavily on Yang Guifei, a man more focused on power than stability. The rebellion turned into a catastrophe. The people starved. The army fractured. And amidst this chaos, Yang Guifei lived in luxury, untouched. Her personal world remained unchanged. Hundreds of servants, imported delicacies, and rare jewels. While soldiers bled and the empire crumbled, her world was wrapped in silk and perfume. But the rage outside those palace walls could not be held back forever. By 756, the rebellion reached its peak. The emperor and his entourage fled towards Sikh, but the journey was no royal escape. It was desperation. As they reached the rugged slopes of Mawei, hunger and exhaustion gnawed at the imperial guards, and their fury boiled over. To them, Yang Guifei was the symbol of corruption, the face of favoritism and excess. They had sacrificed everything, and blamed her for the empire's fall. And then came the unthinkable. They demanded her death. Either Yang Guifei dies, or the army turns back. Emperor Xuanzong, devastated, begged, pleaded, wept, but the army refused to yield. And so, on the barren mountain, history took a dark turn. The woman who once made poets weep and emperors kneel was ordered to die. Some say she accepted her fate with grace, silent and sorrowful. Others believe she took her own life to protect her emperor. Whatever the truth, she died that day, at 37 years old, buried hastily, without honor or ceremony. The army, temporarily satisfied, marched on, but the empire would never be the same. It's hard not to see the bitter irony. The most envied woman in China, discarded as a scapegoat. Her beauty, her influence, now a tragic symbol. And yet, her story lived on. The great poet Bai Juye immortalized her tale in the Song of Everlasting Sorrow. He wrote of a love so deep, so doomed, it transcended time. Her story even inspired parts of the tale of Genji, Japan's classic novel. Today, visitors to Shanxi province can find her bronze statue standing silently where she was buried, a tribute to a woman who rose to divine heights and fell to human tragedy. In films, dramas, and books, Her story is retold again and again, always with the same haunting truth. Beauty can elevate, love can conquer, but both can destroy. So, what do we truly learn from Yang Guifei's story? Is she a victim of fate and politics, or a symbol of how unchecked privilege can topple empires? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, love, and scandal, don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel. Ring the bell so you never miss the next untold story from history's shadows. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.